Hello everyone, my name is Max Thorin. I'm here with Stefan Rapp,
Hello.
owner or co-owner in 5 companies and a charity. And we're going to talk about a little bit how you build yourself out of the company, how to market yourself in different industries, how to develop as a person, how to educate your staff, maybe solve some problems inside of yourself to be able to grow as a person, etc.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start a little bit with the psychology. Like, what do you need as an entrepreneur and businessman? Can you?
I mean, you have different, I would say different things and different thoughts. It depends on where you are in your business.
Yeah.
But I would say the most important thing, I would say passion. You have passion for some, you want to do something. And if you want to do, because having a company, it's not easy. It's like obstacles everywhere. And if you don't have the great why, when you hit a wall, you will stop.
So what's your why then?
My why and why I go up in the morning is I want to change people to be more themselves, to help them to remove fears and change them to like them how they are. And I do it different ways. But the thing is to help people. I mean, I see so many people that act out of fear instead of act out of love, instead of acting the way they want. Say to the mother, no, I don't like it, or say to someone I live with, or say to the boss, it's impossible. Because we have something in here that calls intuition. And if we start to use that, we're going to have the road we want to walk on. So for me, psychology it's about have the focus and do what you love.
Yeah. So basically, you started out in the IT business.
Yeah.
And you found the love for that, or?
I love the service thing.
Yeah. So it basically didn't matter just about the IT. It could be anything.
It could be anything, and I have done other things I have friends that invent businesses, and I call them, okay, I can come and help you. And I think it's fun. I just do it for fun. But the service is my goal to really have the smile on the person when you do something for them. They say thank you, or they say thank you for changing my life. I could never done it without you. I mean, these words, I'm sometimes selfish, I feel, because that made me feel good. I help the person to change, to be something better. And that's what I strive myself, to always be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how do you market yourself then? Like, how do you find these people?
If you look at staff, it's about people you meet, and you have a different way of finding it. But the first step is to really to plan, what do I need? Okay, if I have an IT firm, what type of persons do I need? What type of knowledge do I need on them? Not just run out, okay, I need staff, and just run out and look for them, because you can't probably going to find a lot of people. But how should you select? Who is the right person? And if you don't know the role they should have, how should you know they're right? Yeah, he was nice, or she was nice. It was good, yeah, it was nice, but what do I have the right competencies, or can they learn? Or how can they get in the business? And I would say attitude is the most important skill of everything. If you don't have the attitude that you want to come in and work with us, change things, whatever, I mean, it's like you have to push them forward to be here. And I don't say in any business it won't work. And how do we market ourselves? It's about networking, meeting people. We have different sites, depends on the company. We have different sites we're on. But I would say when I meet a new person, it's the first impression. How do you give them? Do you give them energy, or do you take them energies? Or what is your goal again when you network? How do you meet a person? What do you want them to remember after you left them?
But do you know all the things that the person will need, like, you're like, okay, I need someone for this position. How do you know exactly in the beginning what they need to have, because you haven't faced all the problems yet?
But
So
for me, it's not about the problem. It's more like, okay, my goal is not to be part of. I want to be outside the business in 5 years, in 2 years, in 1 year. Then I need to understand if I start to work with everything, and it's in my head, and you start with me working, and that's problem. Sometimes I have it in my head, and if I don't write it down or show you, how should I expect you to learn? So that's really, I had when I was coaching a client, we was talking about this, and I said, what is your plan, or what type of staff do you want? Do you want a sales director? Do you want, yeah, but I'm everything, so I don't need to plan it. And I said, but then you will never reach the goal to get out of the business. Because you have to sit down, and this is really hard. I mean, the plan is not easy to create, and so, especially if you say when you start the firm, but still, okay, this is a sales responsibility person. What should that do? And this is the technical guys, and this is the CEO, and you put the different thing in your mind, opinion, what they should do. But when you start, you will have all the roles, or it's like when you have many hats. I know commercial in Sweden, they talk about this, I don't remember the company name, there's different, talking about different persons and answering. Marcus Scott on that department, Marcus Scott on another department. And this way, in the beginning there is. But if you know that, okay, I'm now working in marketing, and now I'm working as a CEO, then you have your knowledge yourself. So when now you're coming into the firm, okay, you will be the technical responsible. So I give this is your responsibilities. Because the problem, if you don't have it in your mind, as an owner of a company, you think everything is your matter. And then you're going to grow with staff, and you think, oh, I'm there too, and I'm there, and I'm there. And then the staff will feel, okay,
he's solving everything.
he wants to be in every pot. Then it's better to wait, ask for him, because if I do wrong, he's going to be angry. Or you're going to redo it. And then you paralyze your staff. And I would say, instead of if you do something and I think it's wrong, we should celebrate first, and then we see how we do it next time. Because if you celebrate that you took an initiative, because that's the positive thing. Even if you burn down the building, you just put an initiative to start the fire. Because you should start the fire, but you did it the wrong way, so maybe something go wrong. But again, it is about understanding that people are doing the best, and they need support, and you have to try give them gratitude that they take effort, that they're doing something. Because if you don't give it, they will stop doing things. They will start waiting for you to get your acceptance. Is it okay that I do like this? And then you have not 100% delegate the task. And then you're stuck in that. I was working at one of my old companies when I was an employee. I had one strategy because I was responsible for a system. My strategy was to document everything, because I thought it was boring. And then I can leave it to someone else. I have another colleague, he had the other strategy. He was saying, I know everything, so I don't need to document it, because then they need me. Then he was the knowledge. And they couldn't fire him because they needed him. But we was talking, and he had, with his strategy, he was doing the same thing all the time. And he was so envious of me because I put away things I didn't like. But I documented it and give it away. And there's two ways of thinking to be. He was thinking they needed him. They couldn't fire him. He wanted to be stuck here. And I would say it's the same when you have a company. Do you want to be stuck with every task you have? Or do you want to document it so you can, here, Max, take this, it's yours. And if you have a good instructions, they can just follow it.
And then you can evolve and grow, and
then you can focus on other things. And this is the hard when you start companies, and two of them, or the companies down here, is startups. So that's really building all the structures. Okay, you're responsible for that. What roles do we have? What should we do? And how do we create it? And yes, it's when you start a company, you focus on, okay, how should I get in money? You focus on all the small things that happens. I would say the first company you start, it's like having your first child. Things happen and you don't know what, and you go, oh, it's screaming, oh, it's got teeth, and you don't know what. The second child, I mean, it's like, oh, maybe you should. And the third child is like, it's screaming, yeah, we wait 20 minutes and we see what happens. It's probably teeth. So the third child is like screaming like shit, and he doesn't get any focus because the parents think that, oh, it's just the teeth, so it's just that, it's just the stomach, because you're used to it, you know what's going to happen. And that's why when you start a company, it's really important to have people that done it that you ask. I met a person that's just asking me for advice, and I'm happy to help. But she was questioning me on my answer because she met another person and was so sure about how you should do it. And then I asked her, how many companies does this person have? Do you know what she answered?
None.
He's employee.
Yeah.
None. And I was saying, okay, you take a tip from a person that never had a company.
Yeah.
And that is important also. Where do you get the information from? I mean, if you go back to the child, you would never ask a person that doesn't have a child how you take care of a kid, because it's logic. But when it's companies, like, okay, I can ask that person because he must know this.
Yeah.
Because when you're running a small company, there's so many small things you need to know. And that's why I say it's a lot of obstacles on the way.
And that's a good way to lead us in on how do you handle dissatisfied customers, people who are not happy. You might have done the job and maybe it wasn't what they thought, or
for me it's handled about when you have a customer, it's about the trip from the sign to the delivery, and some in the end they will maybe be not a customer anymore, different reasons. But sometimes you don't deliver the quality that you want. So the first thing I would say, it's important to be honest to yourself. If I deliver this phone and I promise you to deliver it in a certain way, and then I don't do the way I want to do it, and you get angry because it was broken when you opened the package, and I didn't have control to check it, you're going to be angry with me. If I say to myself, but this is just an angry customer, and he just won't reduce the cost, so you will get a lower price. That's only because a lot of people think the only reason they complain is because they want a lower price. Because a lot of people do that because they want a lower price. But still, if I was thinking, okay, I didn't do my side, I know I should have checked, I should have done this. Okay, let's have a discussion with the customer and really confirm. I understand that we didn't really succeed to have the delivery, the quality we want, because then you as a customer knows that this is not our quality. Because if we never mentioned that this was bad quality usually that we want to deliver, you will think, is this the delivery they did once? They will always do this. So the first thing is to really understand and meet the customer. Are you disappointed? I would, in my understanding, even if they ask for money, if you don't get their respect back or the trust back, it doesn't matter how much money you give them. If you don't trust me because you got a broken phone, so you know the next one will also be broken in your mind, it doesn't matter if you give it for free, you will go to someone else to buy the next phone.
Yeah, exactly.
So the goal is, when we have an angry customer, is it possible to build back the trust? That's the first question. If you say no on that question, okay, how do I get out of it and pay as less money as possible? Because I'm going to lose the customer. And the third one is, how should I do so the customer will be a little happy, but I will not build back the trust? In the other way, if I successfully feel that I can build back the trust, okay, how should I, then you can spend more money on it, because then you're going to buy more things. In the past, I was giving, the IT firm, I was giving reduce of price to a lot of customers because they promised to continue. But what happened when I gave the reduced price, they said cancel the contract, because I didn't have the trust.
Yeah.
So they was just want to earn money and then leave. And so unsatisfied customers, a lot of understand, meet them, and listen to them. Because I'm sometimes disappointed with my suppliers. And even as a private person, I had an internet company that was delivering internet. And I was trying to get their attention, to listen to me. I was talking to about 10 people. Still, no one had listened to my thing. They was just saying, this is the way we're working, this is the way. And I was saying, but your guys that helped and did this had not followed your protocol. They have not done the right way. They have done wrong. Shouldn't you look into why you're doing this? And I was like, no, it's not interesting. Even the CEO didn't want to answer my email. And it's again that is not customer services. For me, if you have a bigger organization, if the CEO doesn't support the main chiefs, main bosses, they will not support the staff. I mean, for me, everything goes in the whole organization. And if you're small, if you don't see or support the customers, they're probably going to feel like if you don't, I would say relations, it doesn't matter if it's the customer or if it's a friend. If it's a customer there and they don't want you to call them every day, like if it's someone you live with, but still they want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And so again, it's about relationship and how do you treat the unsatisfied customers, is how do you feel for them. And sometimes I know when you have an angry customer, the first thought is, what an idiot. And then you go in your mind in that direction, and then you will never meet the customer. Instead of my mind, if I have an unsatisfied customer, I ask, okay, what have we done wrong? And how can we improve ourselves?
If you have done wrong, maybe you haven't.
Yeah, but still, if
maybe
I ask,
the customer is just confused.
But if I still ask that question, I will give the customer another experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I can maybe say, okay, we didn't do anything wrong, but then I check that first.
Yeah, exactly.
If I start to say the customer is totally wrong, because then you never grow as a company. You never understand, okay, it was like one thing, I think it was a small button you should check. And I missed it. And I was talking to the support, they said, but you have done wrong. And I was okay, yes. But in that case, they can, okay, the button, the checkbox was too small, so people miss it.
Yeah.
And then you can change the form or change something else, and or really double check if it's very important and it's different.
This is satisfied customers can really be valuable in a way there.
And today, I would say today with Facebook or social media, it's for me it's crazy how it works. Because I don't know the full story, but if you look at the person that was stopping this airplane in Gothenburg.
No, I haven't heard about it.
No, but she was getting massive support from the media because she was putting out and saying the Swedish government was bad. But in the end, she didn't know what she was doing. And the social media was glowing of this. So she was a fantastic person, but then they realized that the person that she was trying to maintain in Sweden shouldn't be there. And then she got I don't know if she got the fine or what happened, but sometimes with social media, we don't reflect on what you continue to share or spread. That's the scary thing about so if you have an angry customer that starts to write something, it can spread like fire, and it doesn't have any substance in it. Because just one person that want to make you bad on social media can create a lot of things before you can stop it. And no one check if it's true or wrong. I tried once, it was quite fun. I was writing some positive thing on my Facebook and asked people to share. And there was 3 that did it, and I asked the person, can you share it? No one else was doing it. But then I tried to write something negative, and it was spreading like fire.
So the negative is easy, positive hard sometimes, but I think it's also in some psychology, like if you think a negative thought and let it spread in your head, you need to be positive for a long time. But if you have a positive, I don't remember how it was exactly, but it's easier. It's easy to be negative. You just have to let go.
Yeah, but the fun of this thing is, what does people want to feel? Angry, disappointed, or happy?
It's weird. I mean, you should think that they would want to feel happy.
Yes. So why do they share the things that negative?
Because they get some community feeling.
Yeah, I know why, but it's so funny for me because that's what I'm speaking when I'm on stage. I was talking about personal responsibility and happiness.
Yeah.
And I ask people the same question: if you want to be happy, why spend time and focus on negative things? Yes, people, and I've been self with a lot of things that's not fair or strange. I haven't shared them on Facebook and other things because I think it doesn't create anything. I try to meet the person instead. So for me, angry customer, when I'm angry, I try to ask the firm. I give them a second chance to correct the error wrong. Because that is what I would like. If I do wrong, I would like you to come to me. It's like go to a restaurant, you think they've done wrong with the food, you don't say anything when you're in a restaurant. And when you go out of the restaurant, you start to Twitter or Facebook about how bad they are. For me, it's like, okay, you thought it was bad, you didn't say anything, then you lose your right to complain, in my opinion. But that's a different subject, but still about people that why can't you just tell the restaurant, okay, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
And then if they are rude, because I've been with that too when I complain, they're rude or something, then it's okay, complain on I wouldn't have to do it on Facebook, but if you ask them and give them a second chance, then you can write something bad. If that's your purpose. Don't just go there, run away, because it's how would every business want a second chance? So if you give
should they get a third chance too?
It depends.
I mean, they should, of course, in a way, if they try to change it.
Yeah. And I remember I was in a course in London. We was on the course, and it was just a restaurant in the hotel because the course was in the hotel. And we went there the first day eat, and they was catastrophic. I mean, they did everything wrong. The next week was a 3 days course. The next day we went there, but there was just 2 of us that went to the court into the restaurant. For the other 3 said they were so poor, so we didn't want to go there again. But in my opinion, I went back and I met and I talked. You was unlucky yesterday. I hope we can do it good today. And I was talking to the waiter and the head waiter. So we said, yeah, but today we okay. We asked what is the fastest food because we had a short lunch. And he said, this is the one that we were eating yesterday. And then we ordered our food and everything. And then I see one of the waiters coming with our food, but he's putting it on another table. And I said, okay, it's going to be today too. And now the head waiter comes and see this. And he just run to our table and say, we have done wrong today again. You will not pay anything today. And we got them food for free. They were knowing, in my opinion, what service was about. They know that it did error twice, and then so they got a third chance. But if they was going to me and say, we haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So for him it was just okay. It was £30. So for me, I was eating free lunch. And then I will go back again. And that's the important thing of when you have an angry customer, what have I done? And you maybe not even need to tell the client what you've done, but you still have the mindset of I have to improve. And for me, I had to improve as a person. I have to improve the companies every day to be a little better. To change because if you grow a little every day, for 365 days, it's going to be a lot.
In the beginning, when you started your companies, before happy and angry customers, how did you like finance your startup? And how much do you think?
I started my IT firm for about 20 years ago,
Mm.
and I was disappointed with my bosses on the company I was working. So I looked at myself in my mirror and said, if I'm so complaining about my bosses, why don't I do it myself? So that's why I started the IT company for 20 years ago. And I was lucky. I was just, when I went out of the firm, they put me in quarantine in Swedish. I had to stay, not allowed to work, so I was 2 months off.
Why? Because
they thought I was going to competitive companies, so, so I was not allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
So I was, after these 2 months, I got a friend, I called a friend, and we were talking, and I found a consultant, and I started working right away. So yes, I was finding from salary the 50,000 that you need to start an aktiebolag. In this time it was 100, so I had the money, I saved it. And then I started to invoice almost right away.
Invoice? What is it?
Send an invoice.
To different customers?
Yeah,
or,
collecting money. So it was really, I was lucky, if that's one of the words you want to use. But I also know that I was not worried about it. Because if how you treat your mind is how you're going to go. If you think everything is like a mountain, everything will be like a mountain.
But what did you use? Your old suppliers, or where did you get?
I've been working as a consultant. I meet a lot of different customers, and I was talking to a lot of people, and that's also what we talk about networking. I meet a lot of people, and my goal is always to give them energy. And I usually say, if you sit down with me for an hour, I'm going to change your life forever. But still, if I give them energy, they will remember me. And I have a customer now from the IT firm that was leaving us for 4 years ago. He called me up and said, I want to come back. So again, it's about how do you, and I didn't was angry when he was leaving, I was helping them. So that's also the memory of a disappointed customer. If you're happy and help them, they can come back. Because on the other side of the fence, it doesn't mean it's better.
No, exactly. They might go try eat somewhere else, but
and yes, that customer. I remember one of the person on the firm was calling me 3 months later, and he was saying like hello, and I said yes, we are not your IT support firm anymore. And he said, no, I know, but I just want to say sorry. And I was like, yes, sorry, Stefan. I know I was the one that was complaining the most on your services. It was complaining every month about something that was wrong. But what I didn't know is I was in heaven and complaining. Now, my new firm is hell. I didn't know how good I had it because I had until I see something else. And that's the problem when with changes. It doesn't mean that you get better. But if you start to communicate with your customer and say, how shall we solve it? You will get a relationship that you build together. And then you have the customer to come again and again and again. Because they know that we can communicate. And then it will be that we solve the things. And a lot of customers says, it's so good to have you, Stefan, because you solve everything. It doesn't matter what subject it is, you solve it. And that's something they feel safe with. So it's a lot of in what you create, even if you meet, I heard a speaker on Monday, he said the most virus word people say every time when they meet a person is what is in for me? To have that mindset that I want to meet you now and say I have to be something for me. I have the mindset, I will give you, I've done some information, I can give it to you. And hopefully you have some use of it. And someday I will get something from someone else. I will always give the thing I have and my knowledge. Because for me it's important to share things. I don't have to like, okay, if you want to know something, I have to send you an invoice, so you have to pay me money, and then I will share. I start to share right away and help you. I had a person I met 3 times in the networking. He was calling, "Can I come?" Yeah, it's no problem. And I was sitting down within half an hour with him and helping him to find a structure in his mind. So we sit 30 minutes, and then he got in homework because he wanted to understand a certain situation. And for me, it's an investment. I invest there and invest there, and I will get something back. Because you never know when you meet the person again.
And he might be talking well about you and sending people your way in some way.
Exactly. You never know what the person can do or open doors in the future. So that's why I say, why don't you give them energy to the people you meet? So they have a good memory of you.
It's something I'm grateful now because of these interviews. Some people have connected to me and like wanna have a chat with me. So from people giving to me, now I'll be able to give some out there too. And sometimes a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, but they keep it for themselves, or they don't share it, and then it's a bit wasted, I think.
It's another point of opinion, and I agree with you. I mean, if I can help a person, I mean, it's like if I go to a restaurant and someone serves me food, I will look to the person's eyes and say thank you. If I can, it depends on where they are in the area, but I'll try to look in their eyes and say thank you. And a friend said, but they're doing their work, yeah? But I want people to say thank you to me when I do my work. So, but I have to start first. If I treat my surroundings the way I want them to treat me, some of them will do it, some of them won't. But it doesn't matter if I do the way I wanted it. I will give my surroundings the way better work. It's always to be, I mean, we live in Sweden. There's a lot of small things to complain about.
Yeah.
If you give that perspective.
Yeah.
Countries that you didn't have food on the table, but it's not the problem. You shouldn't say, okay, send all the money to the people. But sometimes I think people should be more grateful for what they have. To feel like, okay, this is good. And that doesn't mean that you can not be sad, not be happy. Every feeling you have in your body is important. It's telling you something. If I'm sad, it's telling me something is wrong. But I don't have to be sad 3 weeks. It doesn't give me more information if I'm sad 3 weeks. And I heard someone saying 90% of your thoughts you had yesterday.
What does he mean with that?
It means that you will think the same thoughts today that you did yesterday. You won't change 10%.
Okay.
So if you're sad, you really and for me it's not even creative.
So maybe in 9 days you have changed all the thoughts to good again.
It depends. Or maybe you just repeat and you put in some more bad thoughts. And that's really when I help clients with coaching and mentorship, it's about changing their mind. Because I love the word fear. False evidence appears real. I think it's so cool, the word fear. It's not even better in Swedish because it's rädsla, but let's say fear in English. And that is about fear for me is something you create that's not real. But still, a lot of people, I would say 80% or more, are building their life on fear. Instead of love. Instead of loving what they do. Instead of coming to work and just smile and think it's fun to be here. Or they realize this is not what I'm created for. Then I should change. And that's also, I mean, I usually say to start your first firm is like to get in love. You'll have all these good feelings and bad feelings. And I usually say I'm jealous about the person that's starting a new firm because when you start the second one, you know, it's like a kid or you know what's going to happen. You will not have the bad feelings, you will still have the good feelings. but you will know what happened. You know what cash flow is, you know what.
It's different feelings. It's a more calm feeling. I mean, for me, like now, I'm in my first, and you take like steps, and I'm like, what now? And then you put the loan, and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do now?
and sometimes I met a person. She wanted to start a firm, and we was talking about, because I asked her the first question: how much do you need to invoice every month? And she was looking at me, what a strange question. And I was saying, but that's the most important question of all. Because that will reduce your stress. Because people think they have to invoice a lot of money.
So it's, work till they get like a bunch instead of like this is good enough.
No, but I mean, if you need a salary of 30,000 kroners, you may need to invoice 50,000 kroners. And that's, if you divide that in 4, it's 12,500. You have to invoice every month, every week.
Okay.
If you divide it into 5, it's about 2,750 every day. And if you invoice a certain amount by hour,
dividing it down to small pieces,
it's going to be, say, okay, I need to have 4 hours a day. I need to charge someone. Or maybe it's just 3 hours. Depends on the amount you charge. And suddenly you have 3 hours. That's 15 hours a week. That means that you have 2 weeks. You have to billable hours. Not 4 weeks. 2 weeks a month you have to billable hours. And then you start to structure yourself with the rest. One is maybe delivery. No, that delivering is the 2 weeks. The other one is sales, marketing, and networking. Because people the problem when you're small is that you start selling, then you get a full-time work, and then you deliver, and then it's ended because you haven't spent any time on selling, so you don't have any new one. And then it's like, I don't have anything, I don't have any money, and then you have to start selling in panic, and then you get a new one, and then you deliver, and then you work in delivery, and then, oh no, it's ended, now I have to find some new one. Instead of trying to find a structure of everything, or have someone selling for you, whatever, decide, and then we'll go back to the plan from the beginning. Should you be in delivery if you want to be out of the firm? The answer is no. So just thinking of you start working what you like to do, then you will be stuck.
Just to get back a little bit on marketing there, like on your IT, you say you network, you meet people, but do you put anything on Facebook marketing or Google or?
I would say, yes, the IT firm I can be pretty more focused on that, because the IT firm is more based on people that recommend people. So that's more, I like how I get customers and I meet people. But in the office space we have events, we have other things to show up ourselves. But you can always do more marketing. I'm going to say marketing is never enough. It's just the amount that you place. And I would again say, put a small budget on marketing. And then take someone who's good at it and make a strategy of it. How should I do the marketing? I had a newspaper was calling me yesterday and said, oh, you can buy a really good interview. It's a small money. It's a third of the price. And I was telling, yeah, it's really good. But for me to do that, I can need to do 4 or 5 steps more. Because just putting in an interview in a magazine and doesn't do anything else, it's like to throw in money on the fire. You will get a small ad or something or interview you, but you don't use it. You don't put it on Facebook, now I have been on that, and then you put some activities around it. For me, marketing is just not one shot. You have to have the plan. Okay, we start with the article and we talk about the article, and then they get into the pipe, and then you continue working on them.
A planned domino effect.
Exactly. But a lot of person just, okay, we spend money here, and then its marketing is done. So that is, I would recommend to have someone really good at marketing plans, and just, I would say, my biggest mistake when I started my IT firm, it was not getting help. I was like the mentality, I can do everything myself. I'm one man show. and I've survived, but I learned a lot of things when I was trying to do everything myself instead of taking help.
But that firm, did you plan to build yourself out of that firm directly? Or did you start thinking about it later?
I didn't plan about that. And a good thing that to plan to get really structured is to have a board. To have members in the board that's not just you. To plan to build big from the beginning. Because if it's just you sit and look in your mirror and say, what should we do today? We're running, okay. We should go there, and there. And that's the problem again. That's even when I'm coaching people, I don't need to say what they should do. I structure them. I give them priority. What should they start with? They often know, I need to do this, Stefan. But they don't know which order, or they don't know, they say, oh, this is so boring, so I put it over here. But it's like the foundation of everything, so they have to start with it. But because they have never done it, it's like, I push it away, it maybe disappear. Oh, now it come back. Oh, no. It's about where to start. Because, I mean, you have things you need to do, but you procrastinate them. Have you done things like that?
Yes.
I have it too. I mean, everyone has it. And we're like, oh, it's raining outside now. We don't need to do it today. It's all these circumstances we build up, so we're exactly not doing it. So if you have someone else, like a coach or like whatever, someone that they say do it, you do it.
It's actually very nice. I had a little coaching, and since you have a lot of balls, and you could do all of them, but just to have someone tell you, even if it's not the right one, just someone telling you, just do that. It's very nice. Then you do that, and you do it well. For some reason, just choosing, it's nice. Either you choose or someone else, but it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, and we have different challenges because we come from different backgrounds. And I have a lot of clients I've coached. No one is the same. For me, there's different challenge every time. Even if the same methodology I use, it's still different. I have to adjust. Because you don't have the same fear as me. I don't think that. We maybe have a similar fear, but we don't have the same fear. And it was like, I like to challenge myself. And it was like doing this out of your box thing. I was, for 4 weeks ago, should do it last year, but it was bad weather. So I was just, how should I challenge? Because I'm afraid of heights. How should I challenge that? One of the challenges I did for some years ago was jumping out in the pool from more heights. I jumped the first time, I jumped for 3 meters. And it was scary. It was the first time I was jumping in the water. And then I went from 5 meters. And I never jumped from 5 meters. It was like, how do you do it? But we had good people that was there. But I was benching my arm like this. It was, when I hit the water, it was smashing up. So I was like, my shoulder was paining. So I went to the instructor and said, okay, can I skip the 7 and go to 10 right away? And he said, why? No, my shoulder is paining so much, I just think I can handle 1 jump more. And he was looking at me, what did you say? Yeah, my shoulder is paining so... Go to the dressing room, you're not jumping anymore. I was just disappointed and handled 5 meters, but I was so focused on 10 meters. But then he was my coach. He said, you're out. If you do the 10, you're probably won't be good anyway in your life. So sometimes the coach help you to point out what's important. And it was my arm working and not make my goal 10 meters. So sometimes we need someone just to adjust it.
Yeah, and perfect a little bit on the 5 meter jump first. So you don't hold out your arm.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
And get a double punch from the 10.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But still, it's about to know when to stop sometimes. Because we put our head down and was running. And no one said, okay, stop and reflect. And I think that's really important, not just for the company, for your life. I usually say when I have an apartment or house or whatever I have living, every year or third year I will go out and check other apartments just to see that I'm happy what I have. To check that if I find out my living is not good, I'm going to change it. But if I find out and the feeling when I've done it, I'm really happy about my building, where I'm living, then I'm probably grateful again for what I have. Sometimes you can check, even if you don't want to change, you can check so you know that you're happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. And you had to remind yourself a little bit there. And as you said, if there is things like that you really want to come into your life, maybe love, training, I don't know, well then it's good that you're miserable about it, because enough pain will make you actually change. But also really appreciate these things that we actually have.
Of course, and we all usually, I read a lot of articles and that pain is the best motivator to do things. But sometimes you can do it out of love. It's not the same strength of it, but it's a different way of doing things. If you go to work because you love it, you're going to act and influence people different if you do it if you have a pain. Because if you have a pain and try to convince other people, they will feel your pain.
That's interesting how you communicate unconsciously there through your energies.
And it's even if you make a phone call and call them and you're angry, even if you're not angry when you're talking, they're going to feel it. I did a fun test on Facebook, on Messenger. I was writing, I don't remember, it was how are you, it was just same sentence, but I was angry, I was going in an angry mode, and then I wrote it to some people, and I went back to be happy, and I write it to people, and I get different responses.
Oh, they could feel it like that.
Yeah, that's really, I don't know, I don't scientifically tested it, but my small test, it was different, because the person I was angry with, there was more negative than the person I was writing into happy, and it was the same sentence. So some different it was, but I can't prove it, or it's not scientific, but still it's
in the way you were connecting in thoughts
I
to
know
that person while you write it.
I know it working by the phone because how I do it, and it's about how. So again, how do you always, when you meet a person, give them a good feeling?
How do you do that when you have a bad day?
I don't go out, but I never have a bad day. I never have bad hours.
Yeah.
You don't. If the
you just have to stop yourself and reflect, and maybe
sometimes yes, bad hours when turn to a day, but still it's about, for me, choosing. Okay, when I have a bad day, I see it shows. Okay, I have a bad time now. I need time for myself. I would choose time for myself, and that's for me an active choice. Or if I had a person that was running like and hurting themselves, instead of say they have to rest because they are hurt. For me, in my opinion, it's better to say I have chosen to rest because my body need to heal. We say the same thing but two different ways. And if you actually choose things, it's different, because then you don't feel like you have to do it, or you're not controlling your life. Because you start to talk, you have, it's not about what you choose. It's like, okay, I can't train, and the best thing I know. Instead, I choose to rest now because I want my body to be completely healed until I start training again. It's the same, different.
You allow yourself to take that break and not be mad at yourself there and I'm so lazy and weak and
And what happened, because then you create a negative energy about it, and then next time you will create negative energy, and then the mountain will be bigger.
Like put it in a loving way to yourself.
And I usually say, if you don't love yourself, who should love you?
Yeah, it's important. A quote I read a long time ago is like, you should be your own best friend, because like when you're by yourself, you only have yourself.
Yeah, and I would, I don't know why I think about loneliness, but for me, loneliness is a feeling. It's never about how it looks outside. Because you can be feel lonely in a relationship.
Yeah.
You can feel loneliness if even if this room would be full with people. I can feel lonely anyway.
Yeah.
And I have friends that are living alone and they don't feel lonely at all. So a lot of our mind, I mean, that's fantastic with our brain. We can create a lot of things. But then choose what you want to create. Because if you want to create feeling lonely, I don't know, for me opinion, I sometimes feel it, but I just look at them and say, okay, let's call a friend, and then I'm not alone anymore. We can have actions of doing to meet the thing. And then when someone, I don't have anyone to call, okay, then start calling someone. Because start something. Instead, you can call your mother, or father, or brother or sister, you can call someone. And
or maybe you just go to talk to someone down the street.
That's another, but that needs more courage. I start to talk to the people when I'm fueling my car, but that's because I don't mind it. I just start to talk to that person, and I got a client from that. Because if you dare start talking and give them energy, people are happy. And that's something I was in a networking, and the person I was talking to, she started to complain that the coffee cup was too small. And for me, that's not a way of, even if it's too small, and even if I don't find any subject, she was giving me negativity. And I remember her, and I have to remember the coffee. I don't remember her name. I don't remember what she was doing. I just remember the coffee cup.
Oh, the negative coffee lady.
Exactly. and I would never more like to be remembered like that, even if sometimes I do this, but then I know after, fudge, now I'm in a bad pattern. And then I change it, because I have like polices up here and say, okay, it doesn't give me anything in the end. And for me, complaining, if it's not constructive, what should I expect? If I come to you and complain, should I expect that, oh, thank you, Stefan, I'm so happy that you said that, and blah, 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 blah.
I like the exercise that we did here on when Janet Atwood was here, when the stupid negative self-voice comes in here, it's like, stop it, that's bullshit.
And I think it's, my son was showing me, it's an old YouTube clip about the Swedishness. And there's the Swedish calm way of acting. I think it's so funny. I'm laughing every time I start talking about it. It's like he's driving a car, and he's driving on a bicycle, so he falls down, and this guy was not Swedish, he was really furious, and he's starting screaming a lot of things and says, I'm gonna fuck your mother.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And he says, oh, I thought you were angry at me. What a good news! My mother hasn't been having sex for a long time. I will bring her the good news. and that's, I really like it, because it's a way of you choose always how you interpret the situation. And it's really exaggerating the wrong way, but still it's something to learn about it. If I say a word to you, you choose how you react. And again, it's about, if the customer is angry and says stupid things, yes, because he's angry. I mean, I have customers that says, and when I was working at an IT firm, they were saying so much things that if I would listen to them, they would say, I'm not worth the ground I'm standing on. So, but when I reached them, it was like gone for them, because they just wanted to help. They had their fear of not succeeding in their work. And that, because it wasn't working in computers, is, I would say, one of the most frustrating subjects for a person, because if it doesn't work, you feel like, oh, what should I do now? And she was angry about that. And she put her fear and anger on me. But I was like, okay, it's yours, and tell me when you're ready and we'll talk.
Mm.
And when she was calming down, we found the solution, and she was happy afterwards.
Mm.
But
not letting that affect you, maybe. So,
because it wasn't mine.
yeah.
I mean, if you have a distance, if you get angry because you was falling down the stairs and you're coming in here like irritating on that, and you start, and I asked, what have you done? Or how stupid are you to fall? And then maybe you want to hit me or something because I was doing something bad that you thought I was attacking you.
Mm.
But I was just, in my mind, I was just thinking of other things and, oh, it's late, why did you fall?
Mm.
And I didn't mean to be attacking you, but you felt it ashamed because you was falling down the stairs, it was hurting you, and then I should say this stupid comment to repeat and remind you about it, and then you get angry at me, but I didn't have that purpose.
Mm. And we have to think that sometimes our brain just puts words out there on automatic. They are not thought through.
I said sometimes you are unlucky in your thoughts of choosing words.
Yeah.
And have you right to be angry at me for that, or can you just? But then you have the feelings and the anger inside of you. And when if you go down to your reptile brain, you just have the option of fight or flee.
Mm.
So that's why people act that way. They start to fight, or they're going to leave the room. There's only two options if you're in your reptile brain.
Mm.
And then we are so the person that's not angry, we think we can start to speak logic to this brain. Okay, then we should start fighting with them or flee.
Mm.
Or we can meet them so they get down in their full capacity of brain and start to use logic again.
Mm.
And then we go back to the angry customer. They're probably often angry. I had a customer that was telling, he called the support, IT support, because the mail service didn't work.
Mm.
And he was so, because he needed to send this mail. It was important for him, probably an order or something. And he was trying to get this IT guy to understand that he was furious. And this person on the other phone just answered, we know we have a problem. We will contact you as soon as we solve it. And it was just, but don't you hear it's important? And he was continuing.
Mm.
And what did the IT guy do wrong? He didn't meet him.
Meet him halfway. Yeah.
He could just say like 2 words more. I hear that you're stressed. But we have a problem right now. And let's fill out the rest.
Mm.
Because it was so focused on telling the thing what happened. He didn't see the person.
Mm.
He didn't meet the person to say, oh, I see you're angry.
Mm.
Sometimes that's enough to the person to calm down. I understand that you're angry. I understand that you're stressed. I understand the situation give you stress. I understand if you go up on stage, you're going to be puking before, and it's okay.
Mm.
Because if you meet the person in their fear, they will say, oh, he sees me, or she sees me.
Mm.
And then you can start talking logic again.
I had an interesting situation at work. I was working with a person that I never met before, because I end up in different places sometimes. And first we were talking and we were having different opinions, and he was interrupting me in when I was like, oh, but I really think it's this way, or I think like this, and he's like, no, and he didn't want to listen to me. And then it's like, it was something like, he interrupted me, and then he was trying to continue saying his thing, and then I said, then I don't want to hear your thing either. And he said like, I don't want to hear your opinion. I'm like, but then I don't want to hear your opinion either. And then it became like a little tension. But then I said to him, I think you're a nice guy. We just have different opinions. We don't have to be pissed at each other for that. So you can solve it like you don't.
Because you can agree that you not agree.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah, exactly that. It's okay.
And sometimes you will not agree because you're from different childhoods, your different views of things.
Mm.
And it's not important to get you convinced that I'm right or the other one. But sometimes when people say like that I don't think you're right, how do we react? Often we react that, okay, someone smacked me on the hand. Instead of just listen and understand that's a different point of view. And it's okay that he thinks different. And it depends on where the goal is. If I'm one of my coaching students, I maybe sometimes say, yes, it's okay that you think that. But what is your purpose or goal? And why are you here? And sometimes they say, I'm here for wanting to move forward. And sometimes you start not agreeing with you because I'm afraid of doing it. So it's the fear of the person that want to and says that you're wrong. Because it's easy. Because then I don't have to try it. I had a person that I wanted the call to do an interview, like how is my service good or bad? And that's what we're talking about, how do you market yourself? You can do a market interview, you can call 20 people and say, I want to launch this service. How much would you pay for it? What's the value to you? And that's searching to understand it. But if I don't like to call, I will do anything to tell your idea is wrong.
How do we know?
If you want me to say, okay, Stefan, you're going to start this thing and call 20 people to ask if they want to buy your service and what price are they ready to pay. If I'm afraid of taking up the phone and call people, I will convince you that your idea is wrong. Because I don't want to call. It was like when I was doing the paragliding dive from the airplane. When I was sitting up in the airplane and we was lifting up meter after meter, I was looking out. Suddenly was at 4,000 meters. But I was spending my time from the lift off to the 4,000 meter. Then what I was thinking about.
What were you thinking?
What I was thinking. I was trying to find a good way to convince them that I will fly with the plane down. That was the only thing I was focused on.
How do I convince them that I would not jump, and what's the good reason for getting down without jumping? Something like that.
Exactly. And I was just thinking. I was inside of myself and thinking of that because I think it was stupid to jump. But it wasn't stupid, but I was facing my fears. And before they're pushing me forward, and then everyone else had jumped off, and it was my turn. Before I was standing up, I just took the decision, I'll do it. So I went up, and we were standing over the edge like this, and that's 4,000 meters down, and I was like, okay, next time you decide something, think before. And then we jumped.
We're gonna take just a little break, and then we'll continue in a sec. If someone out there then wants to make their idea come true, how do they start? And if they start, and then what's the warning signs? Maybe their idea really sucks. Maybe it's not the idea that they should pursue, or they...
For me, it's every idea that the person come up with is a good idea. But the question you're really asking, is it possible to sell it? Because that's the real question. Because some ideas are fantastic, but no one is ready to pay for it. So the first thing is I have this fantastic idea. I want to build this app. I want to do this thing. I want to give this service. It's to do what I talked before. Do a marketing search and call people and ask, how are you ready to pay for it? If it's something that's never been done, people will not be able to answer. How should they value a service they have never got? It's when I remember for a while ago, I was living in a house then, and I was knocking at the door, and it was giving me the service of giving laundry and I was buy food and everything by the door.
Laundry and food.
Yeah, they would deliver, taking the laundry on the Monday, and they would give it back the next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I could also order, I think it was Hemköp, so I could order food from there, and they would deliver in the same time. So they asked how much.
Sounds sweet.
Yeah, how much are you ready to pay? And I was like, I never had this service, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So but would you like to have the service? And I said, perfect. And they were starting to do it, and the calculation went wrong in the end, but they tried to deliver the service, because it was like, you got to have everything by the door, and I don't think people really understand the value until they lost the service because they went bankrupt. Well, sometimes it's not the idea that's wrong, it's just bad timing.
Okay. Different kind of timings.
Yeah, but sometimes you have an idea. If you look at on the internet and all these things, a lot of things and ideas have been published, but they were too early. So that people didn't understand what to use them for. And sometimes you get into an idea and you have 100 competitors on the same thing. How should the market you there? So it's really bad. There's no bad ideas. It's how should you sell them? How should you create the package? How should I get you to buy? And what are you ready to pay? It's about the market. For me, it doesn't matter how good your idea you have. If the market doesn't want it, it's useless. But if it's you too early, you have to just be patient until it's ready.
Maybe keep on working on it.
Exactly.
Slowly, but
sometimes you have to have time to get the market ready. Or sometimes you find, okay, all the competitors doing this way, but I think it's better to do this way, and you can change the market. And you have companies like Uber, who change the market way of selling taxi services.
Yeah.
So, and then really grow. So it depends what are the idea, what are the purpose for the idea. And if you create another app, and I said another app because there are a lot of apps, why should they buy your app?
So for example, when you created the CS education, was the steps? What was the steps you did there to test it and?
For me, I didn't test it because I'm a stubborn person.
Yeah.
I said the market would be there when I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I would give the time frame instead. I started it last year, and we're working on it and moving forward. And yes, it's my coaching and all these things I'm doing, and still it's about what time limit do I have. I meet some people that have idea, and I say, how long can you handle it? How long can you work with it? And they say 1 month. And no one will break through in 1 month. And we have all these success stories about people that earn a lot of money. But look under the iceberg. They don't work in a month to create these things. A lot of them work for years before they get there. But we create these stories just to start your firm, and then you're a millionaire.
That's what sells. People don't want to work for it. They want it now.
Exactly.
Easy.
But still, for me, there's no easy money. And on the same subject, there's no passive income. Passive income doesn't exist, in my opinion. Because you have to do some effort to get the money.
Yeah.
The only passive income you have is lottery, probably. But then you have to
actually,
spend money.
Looked at that when I've been looking at different passive incomes. All of it needs some work, and probably maybe business then when you build yourself out. And you just have to maybe go in and do some small stuff. Then you could call it after the work passive income.
But for me, the word is the only people that earn money out of the passive income word is the people that selling courses to get passive incomes. And they sell it not for cheap. So they get a lot of money to learn people you can create passive income. And they get money on it. So the really people that earn money about passive income is the people that has courses on it. Because there is no, for me, it's no passive, that doesn't exist. That's what you say. You have to always do something. It's like somebody have an online course, yeah? How long can it be active before you need to change it? And if you want people to really engage, you have to change it continuously. Because who wants to listen for something that's 10 years old? I mean, in Swedish school, when I was in school, we had the books were 15 years old. And the information was 15 years old. We didn't have internet in that way we have today. So it's like, yeah, why should we learn this? It's old. So again, when we create something, we have to have the mindset. It's like a baby. Do you know what the difference is with a dog and a baby, a kid?
I could probably come up with something, but
the dog never grew up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like to say a dog is a passive pet. It's like no one will say, "Oh, that's stupid, Stefan," because you have to actually go out with the dog. You have to give food, and it's whatever income you have. You have to do something. Some of the things that you do, you have to spend less time. But there's no income that you get without doing anything. If someone dies and you inherit money, that's another way of passive income. But I don't think they teach that because that's hard to recreate. If you kill your parents, they probably won't get the passive income that way. So for me, it's like you have to work, and that's why you have to do something you love. Because if you think you get in real estate to get rich, but the problem is if you don't have the passion, you will not get the money. And that's the thing that I hate to see people. They run after the money, but when you run after the money, you will never get it. Because you, like I said, how do you get new customers? If you give them the energy every time you talk with them. If you're in real estate, and I'm not in real estate, but if I would be in real estate, I would talk about houses. I would talk how you should change your houses to get better efficiency or whatever. I will just talk about houses 24 hours. Then real estate is something for me. And then I maybe create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings that give me money. But if I'm not passionate about it, I'm going to first thing that stops, if I lose money or whatever I do, I will stop doing it and say there was nothing, I was just bad. And if you have a company and you just give it 1 month to succeed, you will not ever succeed. And a lot of companies in Sweden will go bankrupt after 1 year, I think it is, because they can't sell. So again, what you need to do if you start a firm, realize that sell is fun.
I think that's a big problem for many people, because you don't see it like you do a service. You don't see it like you do something good for the person. You're like, oh, now I have to be annoying and sell to this person. And
I had one coaching client that I was helping with sell. And the first question I usually talk about when we go into that subject, because I go for different subjects, I say, how do you feel when a salesperson calls you? And if you say something, it's not nice, it's bad, I hate it, I don't say it's a rule, but a lot of time you don't like sell, then you suck on sell. But if you say instead, like when a salesperson calls me, I think it's fun to try how they handle objections and ask different questions and talk to them, because then I can learn something. Then I spend my time, a good time, when we're calling. And it's so fun to see one salesperson. I really liked him because I don't remember what he was trying to sell me, but I was trying some objections I get when I'm selling. And I'd like to realize, oh, you answer like that. That's good. I will copy that. And understand is that every person you meet over the phone, over live, you can learn something from. Then you will treat people different. The first time I met you, I was, wow, I want to learn something from you. Then I will listen to you. If I will just see the first time I said, oh, not him, I don't stand him, I will not give you energy, I will not listen to you, and I will not be interesting, and then I probably won't be sitting here today. Because it's a way, how do you meet people, what energy do you give them, and where do you start of selling and all these things? I mean, the thing is that love selling the thing you have. And sometimes with the problem, what I see that if you work in a big firm, you sell the brand there.
Yeah.
And then you go out and start selling yourself. And then the problem starts. Because will I really deliver what I promise? Will I really give a good service? Do I really change the customer, or do I give the customer something? But from my opinion, easier for me to sell myself than someone else, because I know exactly what I will give. I know my quality, I know everything. But if I'm going to sell you, how should I be sure that you will treat the customer the way I want?
You mean you are selling it, and then maybe the people who will deliver will not deliver in the way?
I will check that they will do it, but still, I will just change the mindset instead of, if you sell yourself, you know what you deliver. And that's the mind thing to change about when you're selling yourself. But if the goal that I had before, that you want to get out of the business, you should not really sell yourself. You should sell the business and the idea of the business. Because then the problem, what I see, and even if my own IT firm, is that I deliver good service when I'm helping the customer. So when I'm trying to move the customer to you, they will get disappointed because I deliver a different level. And because I'm passionate about my company, I'm passionate about what I do. And that's really to have a balance when you delegate, that you should know that it. So nowadays when I bring in customers, I give it to my staff right away, because then I can help them to deliver the level I want instead of giving the level right away. Because it depends on where you are and what they're passionate about. But I must say, I'm really happy about my employees. I don't say they're doing wrong, but we have different as a persons. We have different layouts, and the most I'm celebrating when my employees do the way they want, and the customer's happy. And you see the way I said it, do the way they want, and the customer is happy. It's nothing to do with me. And celebrating, then I take action.
Oh, that initiative and viewing it their personal touch.
Yes. So that's really important to understand, that if you want to grow, you can't be in everything.
And allow people to make little mistakes so they can
Not just
learn
little,
from
they
them.
can be big.
Yeah.
Hopefully
you have insurance if you're gonna burn down the house, like you said. But
I had a client. I have an employee that's when we had the office in Karlskoga. She did a big error. But the thing is that she realized what she'd done, and she fixed it in half an hour. And then she called me, and I still remember this call, because she was calling me and telling what she's done, and I said, good. And she was like, aren't you angry? And I asked her, and the question, I said, why? But I did wrong. No, I would be furious if you left when you realized you did wrong. But the thing you were doing is that you did wrong, you corrected, you informed the customers, and everyone is happy. And I'm happy. Why should you be angry on you? You did the thing that I expected. Because if you leave when I'm doing wrong, I can't do anything in that war, and you just leave and not tell anyone, and then the damage would have been much, much bigger. She realized right away she was doing wrong and corrected. And if I would have been angry after that, she would never do it again. Because what I told her, it's perfect. You did exactly what I wanted. You did perfect.
Many quotes I read is like they encourage to do mistakes, and then they also say, well, you should also learn from others' mistakes. Learn from others. So if your colleague does a mistake, sneak peek, okay, I won't do that. But it's important to fail. I think if you use the win and don't encounter any setbacks, I think you will get a fucked up mindset.
It's like to say to you, don't think about the pink elephants. Don't think about pink elephants. What do you think about?
It's a beautiful pink elephant.
Exactly. So again, what you focus on is what you get. If you always complain, the employees will expect you to complain. Sometimes they do a mistake, and sometimes you can help them and support them to do fixing the problem, but encourage them to do it themselves. I had a long while ago, there was one of my employees that he was doing wrong, and I said, okay, it's okay that you did that, but now you have to go. He was living far from Stockholm. Now you have to take the train down and fix it. But you're close, you can know. You did the mistake, you have to correct it yourself. From my opinion, then he never did it again. He never did it again because he knew what he'd done. Because that's a lot of time. If you're my employee and you do something wrong,
and you fix it,
and I fix it,
you don't know how to fix it.
You will not remember that you need to fix it. So you will do it again. Because if you get the pain to talk to the customers, to tell them we had done something wrong, and then you fix it, or whatever you do, the employee will remember, okay, don't do that again. It's not about me as a boss that forced you to do the right thing. It's because you see the client is not happy. Because sometimes you cut off the things from employees, they don't know what happens in the end. How should they learn from that? I even have examples that I tried to tell them what to do, and don't do this and do that. And in the end, they did the thing wrong, and they got the customer angry, but they solved the problem. And then they were like, oh, now I understand why Stefan tell us not to do it that way. Because sometimes you need to experience yourself to learn. Because even if I say, it's like, don't go on the right side because you're going to fall. If you're a stubborn person, you will still go on the right side until you fall. And then you say, now I understand what Stefan said. Well, now I understand what the customer said, and now I understand why you shouldn't do that. Because that's one to be an entrepreneur. For me, it's also you're always going to go your own way. You want to create your own things. And that's what I said in the beginning. One of my biggest mistakes is when I started my first firm for 20 years ago, I didn't ask for help. And I would be a different place today if I asked for help.
Of course, there is building strength in figuring stuff out yourself, but asking for help is strength too, and
to show yourself vulnerable, to show yourself, because if you know that you're gonna drive a car and you don't know the way, that's most people use these today to use the Google. They ask Google to how should I find. But in the old days that they didn't have it, you had to ask people. And in some matter you wanted to ask people because you want the fastest way. You didn't want all these obstacles. And for me, that's what coaching is about. To help people to take the shortest way. And then you say, but it's an investment. Yes, it's an investment. But think of if you're running like this, how much does that cost?
Exactly.
Often you don't
especially time.
It's time, and you don't see the cost because it's no one sends us the invoices. But it's still a cost. I met a person yesterday. I will meet him in 2 weeks, I think. He's helping customer. His idea is helping customer to see all the costs of a supplier. Because today, when you compare, someone compares. I buy this phone from you for 400 euros, and I buy it from that supplier for 500 euros. And in that calculation, you see to be cheap. But what happens if you never deliver on time? Are you cheap or expensive then?
If you're just gonna order one thing, depends. But if it's continuing, then it's gonna be really, really bad.
Yeah, and that's the problem today, is to how to see how much does it cost. And even if you buy a coach, it will cost you money, but it's like an investment. You're gonna get the road faster forward. You're gonna get to the point that you think you want to be, Because that's one of the things I start when I have a new client is to talk really like where we want to go. Because sometimes you have saying like customers always right. And another one I usually say, if you want to go into cab, jump into cab and expect the cab to go exactly where you want without telling me. Because that's what a lot of people do. They start the firm, they don't have a goal, they don't do anything else. Waiting, why doesn't the money come? My idea is so good, why doesn't anything happen? But if you start talking to the cab driver and say, I want that address, they will going to drive you there. And they're probably going to drive you the shortest way to that place because they know the areas. So it's really how to find your purpose and find your why. I think that's the most important thing when you start your firm. Because if your why is strong, you can climb a mountain. If your why is weak, you will stop at the first hill.
So people get a suggestion, an idea of what a why could be. If we say ABC design, where you help companies to communicate out to the world in marketing and image, and
my goal is,
what was your why there?
My why is because I'm going a lot of courses and I see a lot of people have so good ideas, but they trip on the execution. They trip, they sit in a course, they learn new things, that I should do that and that and that and that and that, and I've been there too. And then you come to your computer and what was it should I do? Which way? What should I start? And the idea of IBC design is to create a ready car. You have to get in. Then when you buy a car, you just get the key and start driving. Not giving all this knowledge, because if you're starting a firm, you don't understand half of them. You're sitting there and listen, and it sounds good, it sounds good, it sounds good, it sounds good. And then, but what did that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? And then you're like, the cows in your head, and then you try to create something. And the goal there is to help them to, like, come into a studio and help them with their communication. If it's clothes, if it's websites, if it's all these things, sales funnels, to get them helping with their business structure. So really help them to start driving. Because who likes, if you want to help people eating healthier food, do you think the drive and passion is about finance and cash flow?
No.
Exactly. But they start the firm and then they get as a bonus. And a lot of people try to handle them themselves instead of thinking, okay, I'm good at getting healthy food to people. And I'm good at helping and talk about it, so I can go out and have a speech about it. And the goal is that people buy my product. Then you need help to get someone to fix your finance. That talk your language, you can understand it. Or you need someone to create a good website so you can marketing your way of what you want to do. And not just build. I mean, if you go back to 10 years, I think, or 15 years, you have the web page. It was just about to be on the internet. Today, it's a different thing.
Yeah. I was extremely untechnical. I barely had a Google Mail like a year ago, or more than that. But so it's been interesting to see how all the things with the funnels and the different web users like Shopify or different marketing ways now with Facebook, Google, Instagram. People talking about Snapchat and like which one is for you.
There's so many different ways that you don't know where to start. And then you probably spend 100 or 200 hours to get under the hood of this. Think of it, get it as a plate and just start doing what you're okay. You will get educated how you use the tools and just run. That's the goal of ABC Design. That's why I'm so happy about it, because I know it's going to change people's way of starting businesses. And we also have something under it, working with even the office space to help people, because how I perceive you is how I'm going to treat your business. And then we help people to start. When they start, they will be in 5 different continents in office for a small sum of money.
The ABC, is that global also, or is it just in Sweden you run that project?
The project is global. We have some some people in India, and we have it in Sweden, and we're working. The goal is next year to build 100 websites, but also help a lot of companies to change their way of seeing and marketing themselves. So it's a lot of puzzles to help them to change, to really get out there, because there's so many. Now, I mean, a lot of people have new ideas, but they forget to check if it's really there on the internet already.
Yeah. And if it is?
Then you should deliver it in a different way.
Yeah.
You can always add some value, so it's going to be different. But I mean, one of our developers says that, okay, here a customer wants to build an app, and then you can check, are the app already on the market? And instead of creating from the scratch, you can maybe white label it, or you can use the things that's already there. Because you don't have to pay a lot of money to create the app if it already exists. Like, you can copy it and use it, because this white label means that they create the structure, but you put your label and logo on it, and you can use it. And then you have a cost that's 1% of the development cost. And then you start fast. So it's more like today to understand, okay, I want to do this. Has someone done it? Okay, how did they do it? Can I copy it? And how can I bring another value on it? A friend always said to me, steal with pride. But it's not about stealing, it's about understanding, okay, they want to do it like this, how should we do it better? Because then you have the gap between they doing this today and this is what you can deliver. And that's what I love about Uber. They found a gap. They were stealing the idea of driving people, but they did it in a more effective way.
I think that's the whole important for the whole evolution of Earth. I mean, we steal to evolve it, do it in our own way, and then.
I mean, the idea of driving people, that's not really stealing. What I mean, stealing is just someone, you should steal ideas from others. No, you should never steal that way, but you can steal. What I mean with the Uber, they steal a way of moving people.
Yeah.
But they did their own way.
I also had some questions about like the characteristics of a person. Like, maybe you shouldn't start a company. Maybe everything about you is wrong for a company running a company. Maybe you're not a people person. Maybe you and then also if someone feels really ambitious and like, Stefan, I wanna take over your next company. Maybe someone in your company. What do they need? What qualities? What do they need to have so you could say, yeah, this is the person I'm gonna choose?
I would say like this: if you're gonna run a marathon, what do you need? What's the most important thing if you're going to run a marathon?
Training.
No,
no,
I would say the will.
The will. Yeah.
And if you see will in a person, they will do anything to get the goal. And that's go back to their why. I'm running a half marathon, and I don't want to never do it again, but it was fun experience. I was running in 5 fingers, so it was. And people called me, well, I was crazy. I don't understand myself how I was running that. In the end, I was doing it, and I was set my mind to it, and I was doing it. And I would say again, if it's someone I feel that really have the same passion as me, I'm ready to they can take over the company. But it's still, if they don't have the passion that I have, they will have to. Depends on what they want to do. For me, it's an important question: what do you want to do in life? If they want to have the responsibility or creator or the right person.
Yeah.
Because it's an attitude and mindset. And there was two divided question in your question, but still it was about what person should do it, or I'm right to drive my own company. I would say again, it's the will. Are you ready to go out on a ride that won't be straight? Are you ready to continue even if everyone thinks you're crazy? Then you start your company. Because it's a certain kind of mind that still do it, even if everyone says you're stupid, you will never succeed, you will never be able to do it. Because often when you say something, I had one of my other clients that was coming, he was talking about, because he's a photographer, and when he came to his dad and said, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to start to photograph people and charge money for it. The first response he got from his dad was like, get real work. But what his dad was answering is that he was fearing to do the same thing. So he was answering from himself. He didn't answer the question and say, good, you're starting a company, because he has feared his whole life to do it. So now his son does it, he can't enjoy it because then it's mirroring back to him. He was a coward not to do it. And then you go to your own self, you look at yourself and just we said it before, he was unlucky with his words.
Yeah.
But I would say it's more important to when you start your own firm, surround you with people that can lift you, that can help you, that can celebrate for your success. When a friend calls me and says something good, I would say about, wow, I will give them support. Sometimes I don't understand what they're happy about, but I will give them support. Because that's the thing, that if they are happy, they've done something good, I should also be happy. Support them. And sometimes I'm happy even if they're not happy, because they are so much pressure on themselves they should be perfect. So always have people around you that can lift you up. Because you need it. It's having your own firm is not a straight road. You need people to like high five you on the road.
I really think that explains the will, because sometimes that can be hard to understand. But if we're gonna break it down, it's like it doesn't matter if you have the right knowledge, because if you have the will, you will get it on the way.
Exactly. Or if you can ask people. And all these things around it. But for me, it's ended up in giving the person you meet energy and understand that you can learn from everyone. It doesn't matter if it's an old person, or where a young person would come up in age, or if it's a young person that's just in school. You can always learn something from everyone. And if you have that mindset, you will see more things. And I was tired last week, and it was like a day that to talk about this didn't start the way I wanted. I had a headache, and there was lots of things going in the way, and I was fueling my car, and because my car didn't work, I took another car, and I was so focused on getting a receipt on the fueling, so I just jumped in the car and was driving away, and then someone started to do, and my first, something had happened. So I stopped my car, and it was like, I was going out the car and looking, and I forgot to put the
lid on the tank.
Yeah, put it back. And I was happy and said thank you. But how many of us think that someone's holding us is something positive? Because we program that is negative. But for me, I'm happy. I'm so confused what I'm doing today, so thank you. And I was going up and say thank you, waving to him. And I was like, thank you. Even if it's holding on me, and if I was driving away with it, I would probably lose fuel. I don't know what happened. It's going to dust go away, but still, sometimes things happens not the way we wanted. And how do you choose to perceive it?
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you do so stupid mistakes and you feel so stupid, but like I worked with this guy in construction, and I was supposed he was having this machine that comes some dust, and I was supposed to vacuum, and he's like, "Oh, come now, come do the vacuum." I was like, "Okay," so I'm there quick, and because I didn't think, I was in other thoughts, and then I go there, so I'm there, he's going, he doesn't say anything, and I'm not turning on the vacuum, so and then I can be like, "Max, you are seriously stupid." And I mean, I did think that, but at the same time, the only thing I just let it go, and he like laughed, like because it's so stupid. Like, okay, I'm just gonna laugh at that.
But it's about focus. You focus, and that a lot of people focus on is that they have to do it right instead of doing the right things. They're so focused of doing and performing right instead of doing the right things. And then we get like, we get it in tunnel. And you will only focus on that when he starts, I should do it.
I should hold it right there.
Yeah. And it's the thing that instead of we starting to do the right thing, we started about having someone to help you to structure, to do the right things first. I mean, maybe if you go out and sell, and I heard a lot of people that they need this brochure because I can't sell otherwise. Instead of just start selling. And like I said before, I was fueling my car and I was selling to a person there. Or I would start asking, what is important for you? Not be afraid of, for me, selling is helping people to buy. If I know you have a pain and I can help,
and you don't do it,
and you don't, and you don't do it. There's another way of looking at it. I just see you in the pain. I know I have a service, but I won't sell to you because I don't like to sell.
He's probably gonna say no anyway.
Yeah. And it's so funny when another friend was calling me, and she built a new, about reducing sounds around when you speak on the phone and the headset. And he was calling me and telling me, Stefan, I need to do marketing research. And the fourth time he called me, I said, I'm so tired of hearing you saying this. We see yourself on the Galleria in Stockholm on Saturday, 10 o'clock, and we will do it together. And I was like, hello? What did you say? Meet me 10 o'clock at the Galleria and we do this, and we get rid of it. I don't want to hear her complaining anymore. And it was like, you stupid Stefan. Yes, I know, but we'll do it. See you there. Click. And because that's my best training of handling to get no's. It's to go around with this paper and ask people, have you 2 minutes can I talk to you? And the thing is training the brain is that we try to think that we can see if you're going to answer. And it's so stupid. I'm sorry. It's so stupid to think that I can read you if you're going to answer my question or not. And I remember I was asking, a person was going like so slow. I was able to run around him and he wouldn't notice it. It was so slow. And I was coming up to him and saying, because it's just 4 questions. We have just 4 questions to ask. Could I ask you 4 questions? Just take 2 minutes or 30 seconds. And he says to me, he's walking while he's talking, I'm so hurry. I haven't time for that. And I was like, but I can walk with you and you can answer the question. But he didn't want to answer. And there was another guy who was running. He was running.
Yeah.
And I was just going, I was going up, working with him, and he was running really fast. And I said, do you have time for 4 quick questions? And he said, of course. And he stopped. If I would use my brain and say, the first guy, he had the whole time in life because he was not even walking fast. But this person that was running, I would never ask because he's looking in a hurry. Or another time I was doing this with him, there were 4 people talking. Or 3, there was 3 talking people. And I said, go to them and ask them. And I said to him, and no, they're busy. Okay, I will do it. And I go up there and ask them, do I have time for 4 quick questions? And it was like, oh, what is it? And then I explained what it was and said, fantastic. I love to support people that are trying to create things. And then if I would use my judgment, I would never ask. So that's, I would say, the best training, to just train to get no's, because that's what we hate. That's why you don't like to sell, because I don't want you to say no to me. Because
we
if you
feel
say,
it's personal.
it's personal. You don't like me because you don't want to buy my service.
Sometimes that might be true, but
it doesn't matter for me. If you don't like me and you don't buy my service, you're going to miss something. You're going to miss the goodness of my services. But still, and then you train to get no's, train to realize that you can't spot if the person's going to buy or not. And for me, that's often the most wrong thing we do when we sell. We think, I see Max, okay, he's not going to buy. I sell shoes, he's not going to buy expensive shoes. I can check your shoes, you have sneakers on you, you're not going to buy expensive shoes. You try to form this the way, instead of what's the easiest way to get it out if you're going to buy or not. What's the magic formula? It starts with an A, S-K.
ask.
It's the magic formula. Ask if you want to buy, and then I know. It's really like and that's the fun thing, when if you meet people and you do something strange, I'm going to discuss with my friend, what did it mean with that? Why did he say like that? What does it mean? Instead of going to Max, okay, Max, you said like this. Can you explain how you mean? Because I don't understand. Where would I get the correct picture? When I sit with my friend and try to find it out, or when I ask you? And that's what I feel a lot of people, instead of asking the source, we try to create something else to get the answer. Or if sometimes when the customer say no to me, I take the phone and call them and say, can you help me so I learn? Why did you say no? And sometimes I get really good answers, and then I can learn from them. Sometimes they say, I'm not interested in talking to you about it, so then you leave it. Because they have the issue of time. I have not enough time, I don't want, and all these things. Time.
It actually was a salesman called me now the other day. I have Tele2, and he wasn't, I don't know what he worked for, but he asked me, do you want to change over to 3? And then you will get 25 gig surf instead of 20 for the same price. And I was like, I didn't need the 5 extra. 2, I'm happy with Tele2. And I said by response, like, that sounds a little bit shady. So he's like, why is that? Why do you think it's shady? So at least he asked, so he will know for the next customer why people might think this is something shady. Maybe he has to change something in his pitch there.
I really like the way of metaphor of when you learn bicycling.
Bicycling, huh?
Can you bicycle?
Yes, I learned it.
Yeah. And when you were a kid and trying to learn, did you hurt yourself?
I don't remember. But probably.
Did you fall down the bike, or were you just putting up yourself on the bike and you went away?
I seriously don't remember.
I remember because I was falling in a bush with thorns. So I really hurt myself dozens of times. But when you're a kid, you just see the purpose. I'm gonna learn biking. It doesn't matter what I heard or what happens, I will just continue. But when you're grown-ups, we have so many, I can't run companies because I don't know how to sell. I can't do that because of that. I can't do, and you create so many circumstances instead of just doing it. Because I think the most people, when they were learning to bicycle, they hurt themselves, but they still was so stupid that get up on the bike and try again. And that's the thing again, to have that mentality that yes, the road going to be bumpy when you start the firm, but just get up and ride again. It's no walk in the park. It won't be easy. But when you are on the other end, when I have people call me to tell me, Stefan, thank you for your existing, I would say it's really good in here. Because I changed their life, I helped them to meet their dream, then, I feel it now. Because that's worth every obstacle I've gone through to just hear the words. And that's also something I write down so I can read when I have time to talk about my bad days. Then I can bring this forward and read it, and I was like, okay, stop feeling bad now, Stefan. Because that's also to remind yourself. And I help people up on stage. And I was talking to one new client today about that, and she was like, Stefan, I'm going to puke when I'm going to be on stage. And I said, good, I'm going to place a bucket on the stage, it's ready for you.
Yeah.
And then she started to laugh. And I was like, yeah, but face your fear. Don't go in there. I mean, she was creating a lot of fears and we're working with it. But it was like, she's going to be on stage and she's going to be fantastic. But I was telling her also, if you think you're going to go on stage and you fear it so much that you do, and then you're going to be, without training, it's going to be walk in the park. It's like thinking that you can put yourself on the bike and then you can ride it. But when we're grown up, we think we don't have to train. We don't have to practice. We don't have to do anything. It's just, I'm grown up now, so I can start to drive an airplane without anything. I mean, then the people, Stefan, you're stupid. Yeah. But there's everything in life. You have to train. Or a good friend of mine, she has in her slogan, you will get good at what you train.
Simple.
Yeah.
And clear.
And she's fantastic, and she helps people change their lives. And it's about, for me, it's I'm sorry for the word, it's just stupid to think that you can do something without practicing. It's if like the athletes, the fastest person to run 100 meters, yeah, he did that without training. Everyone would laugh at me if I would say that. Because it's so logical, you have to train to get fast. And if you go in that, you have to have a coach to get fast. In athletes, for them it's, you maybe have 5 coaches or 6 coaches. You have a mental coach, you have a physical coach, you have a food coach, you have all this different because you want to perform the maximum. When we go out to creating our firms, yeah, we have the good idea, but let's do it. I've never done it before. Doesn't sound really stupid sometimes when I say it this way. Don't get help. Just try to start from the beginning, and you're going to be successful in 1 month without help. It's like next week you're going to run 100 meters and you're going to set the world record.
I just thought it was funny you mentioned that because I just read in the paper that Bolt, the runner, the world's fastest man, he just changed from running to football, and he scored like in the first game he played, and he's gonna get recruited. I don't know. So he really mastered running. Now he's moving on. A little bit like you with your companies.
But again, I don't think he's done it without training.
No, he's the best in the world. I hope he's trained, or it's unfair.
But sometimes you have easy things, but you still need training. It's like when you're on stage, the really good, and I don't remember the pastor's name, but he performs a perfect speech every Sunday live.
Who, a pastor?
Yeah, pastor in the US. I don't remember his name now. But then you can say, oh, he's lucky. And then I said, but how do you know he's lucky? How do you know he always nails it every Sunday? Every Sunday he nails it. It's perfect. Yeah. On Monday.
Maybe the crowd.
On Monday, he's a day off.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, he spent a whole day to choose subject. On Wednesday, he creates the speech. On Thursday, he started the first time to have a group of people that listen to him. And then he changed the speech and do it on Friday. And then I think it's off on Saturday. And on the Sunday, he delivered a speech. He spent a whole week to spend 30 hours.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. 30 minutes. And again, he's really practicing. And then you can say, okay, I was just doing it out of heart and I didn't prepare myself. And then you go off stage and say, oh, it was not really good. And if you check with the pastor, he's spending 5 days to perform 30 minutes. And that's why he succeeds every time. So I would say it doesn't matter if you're an athlete or if you're a football player, whatever you do, if you don't spend time on training, you will not go forward. So I would say that's the key to everything, even if you start your company. The key is, okay, I'm going to start the company. What knowledge do I need? What do I need to succeed? Okay, I need some finance knowledge. I need some of this. I need my passion that I want to do and the service. Okay, I need some, and then I have a map what I need. Okay, what can I do myself? What do I need help for? And sometimes I help people, they think that they don't like sell, so they do the rest of the things instead. But this, in the end, it doesn't be good, because if you don't sell, you don't have anything to deliver.
So they have this awesome company that have no customers.
I usually do exercises that I really recommend to do is that you spend, when you wake up on Monday morning, you write down everything you do for a week or 2 weeks. And after these 2 weeks, you divide it in different areas. You divide it into deliveries, to sell, to marketing, and you divide this, what you're doing. And even if you're eating lunch, you divide everything into categories, what you're doing. And then you can see how much time you spend on sell. And it's so fun when you do this exercise, because a lot of people think, I spend so many hours of selling. And there was a person I was coaching, and it was like so fun, because in his mind, he was spending 2 days on selling. And then we were looking at him in these 2 weeks, and it was spending 1 hour a week. And he was asking why he didn't sell more.
Interesting. How could you think that? Well, what was it that you...
Because he was out networking.
Yeah.
And it's not really selling if you don't do follow-ups.
Yeah, okay.
So if you start to be strict at what selling is,
okay.
you do a lot of things. He was eating lunch with customers, but that's not selling. That's maintaining the customer. So that was really the fun thing, that he was realizing, oh shit, I'm not selling at all. I understand why I don't get new customers. I don't spend any time for it.
Yeah. What was his way of selling? Did he call or?
Different ways. Calling, meeting people, networking, and everything. But he realized that he had to spend more time of when he was out networking, he really had to do follow-ups.
He just kept that networking.
So it's about focus. Because the time, that's the only thing that's fair to everyone in the world. We have 24 hours. That's the only thing that's fair for all human beings. But he was spending it like, he was giving lunch to a customer and then went out to 2 hours, and he because that's a problem with our brain. We think we do stuff, but we don't really realize what we're doing. We don't reflect on, end the day and say, okay, what have I done today? Do you do that every day?
No.
And then how should you know when you live on a feeling and not facts? Because the feeling can feel that I'm so much selling. I made 1 call this week. Or maybe I get on a big order, so I figure I've done selling for this week. But selling for me is like...
And sometimes you also feel like you haven't done enough. I went to coaching where there's a book, and there you write down, I think, some things you're grateful for and accomplishments and stuff, and game changes. And sometimes you have done a lot of things, and you haven't even realized it.
Yeah.
And you will feel disappointed. Damn, I should have done more.
Yeah, because our mind and our feelings are, for me, in my opinion, never what the facts we've done. Like I say, we've done a lot of things, but in the end, we didn't. Last thing we was doing is trying to get a customer to buy, and they say no, and then we keep that feeling and say, I didn't succeed anything today. So I totally agree that we often live the last feeling, and the brain, like it was the whole day that was wrong. Just because one little happening was...
That might flow into the next day.
Yeah. So that's really important how you see all this. Like I said, the people that's haunting me because I forgot to put the back when I was fueling the car. I could just go out and shout at him and think it was rude to horn me without reason. we always choose how we interpret a situation. You are the last person to choose how it should be. If I'm rude, if I'm kind, if I'm trying to trick you, you choose that. Because sometimes you can feel that someone's trying to trick you, but they don't do it. And sometimes people trick you and you don't even know it yourself. Because it's your perception of the person, not the reality.
Yeah, that we have to be careful with, actually. It's easy to live in a totally false reality.
But it's true for the person that's out there. So there's nothing wrong or right. For me, wrong or right doesn't exist. And it's when I'm coaching and talking with my coaching client, that sometimes the people are like, oh, what do you mean? It doesn't exist. Right or wrong doesn't exist. Because right or wrong in my world is not right or wrong in your world. And for me, if a lot of people think it's right to throw my phone at the door when someone enters, it's going to be right. If enough people, if the whole country think that you should throw the phone at someone interrupting a meeting, it's going to be standard.
The cultural aspect is really good there. Like, how are Hindus interpret things? How is people in the north interpret things?
And if it's like, if you see the Second World War, they were thinking they were doing the right thing. But enough people afterwards thought they were doing wrong, so it's wrong. And I don't say it's right, I just say it's different type of angles. So you never know if it's right today to put the phone like this when I'm in a meeting, it can be wrong tomorrow. Or
that's the scary thing about the world, with a good balance of good and evil. Will we think in a good enough way to not make a mess out of this beautiful earth?
and I think it's good that people, I'm scared of that, we stop reflecting, we stop asking, where do I get that information from?
Congratulations, you have now finished a long interview, and I hope you have learned a lot of stuff. Thank you a lot, Stefan, for that.
Thank you. And I didn't realize that it went so much time, because this subject is really, I mean, it's fantastic when people start and create things. So I really love the subject.
Yeah, you have really in-depth answers. And even the camera died after 2 hours or something. So some of the gold nuggets are missing, but maybe you have to take contact with Stefan for a meeting to know the details there. Well, is it anything more we want to say before we...
I would just say, good luck. Always trust your heart and your stomach, and do what you're made for in this world.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
Stay blessed.